February the 5th this year, the Central Bank of Nigeria issued a ruling instruction to all financial institutions to stop facilitating all of the transactions involving cryptocurrency. It went further, asking all the regulated bodies to identify individuals or organizations engaging in cryptocurrency transactions within their system and shut down the account with immediate effect. Now, in addition, the circular notes that the failure to adhere to the directives would also attract severe regulatory sanctions on the part of the regulated entity. Now, following this move as well, we've seen a series of reactions speaking against the directive created on social media almost immediately. Now, the CBN, in a further move and statement, also said that the directive is not to be mistaken for an outright ban. Instead, the Apex Bank reiterates the already imposed 2017 ban on institutions facilitating cryptocurrency transactions. In the last couple of years, there have been astronomical growth in cryptocurrency trading in the country. Nigeria is Africa's largest cryptocurrency marketplace and second only to the United States in Bitcoin trading volume across the world. According to some statistics, an estimated $400 million worth of cryptocurrency was traded just last year in Nigeria. Joining me now live via Skype to discuss the role of regulations in emerging sectors like the cryptocurrency market and its implication on the fintech sector, I have Mujib Ishola, a blockchain and payment technology expert. Good to have you on the show today. Let's now face it, cryptocurrency is a big deal in Nigeria. Almost immediately after the Central Bank of Nigeria released the circular, major fintech companies that offer cryptocurrency processing options on their platform, including Flutterwave, Bitcoin, Pigvest, amongst others, notify their customers of the removal of the virtual account hosted by the deposit money banks via Naira deposit. Yes, there are red flags and major risks with the transactions in cryptocurrency market as to monitoring of transactions, but do you think the circular by the CBN was the solution? And do you also understand the CBN's stance? Even now, reports have it that transactions are still ongoing even after the announcement of the ban.
We need to understand that CBN, they're looking at data which we are not looking at, and part of their primary responsibility as a regulator is to protect everybody within the space. Has it affected cryptocurrency? Yes, it does. Because a lot of the transactions that would normally go through the banking system currently is just hidden. So those data are not being recorded anymore. So if you look at it from that point, I would say the move is not a good one, because at the end of the day, the risk is even more now. You can't monitor, regulate what you cannot track. And by the very nature of it, CBN cannot ban cryptocurrency. No single person in the world controls these cryptocurrencies by their very nature. I mean, cryptocurrencies are based on a technology, DLTs, distributed ledgers, and by the very nature, no single person or entity should be able to control the technology and hence control the money.
In a country characterized by strict foreign exchange policy, exorbitant transaction fees when transferring money in and out of the country, millions of people turn to cryptocurrency to facilitate cheap and fast transactions. But how critical now, would you say, is the role of regulation to make sure that this is a completely acceptable legal transaction base in Nigeria?
The role of regulation is very key. As we have it today, I mean, we are entering a token-based society, whether we like it or not. But it's going to happen, and it's already happening. Regulation would help make things further transparent. If you look at the way finance works today, it is controlled by a lot of the traditional way of raising money and actually using money. But right now, we find ourselves in a situation where things like DeFi and crypto lendings are now a thing, which means that for the CBN to play their role, they need to come up with supporting policies. And to be honest, this is already, I mean, we're already halfway there. I mean, in order for you to participate in this kind of transactions, you need to start off by, one way of doing that is start off by moving money from your fiat account, which is your normal account as you have it today, into a crypto wallet. Now, in Nigeria today, you cannot have a bank account without a regulated entity issuing you that account number and essentially managing that deposit. So in a way, the regulators, we've started that journey, but CBN now needs to look at the whole ecosystem and value chain. I mean, you have exchanges that facilitate the movement of money from the movement of cryptos from one person to the other. You have that. You have miners. You have oracles and validators and different people within the chain that make this whole economy work. Now, understanding the value chain is very, very crucial to making all this work.
Around the world now, even though there's some skepticism, the majority are embracing cryptocurrency, but the unstable government policies here would further reduce investors and venture capital's confidence in funding and investing in innovations in the country. This is the notion of some sector within the economy. Do you share in this sentiment, and how then do we also begin to aggressively drive the new agenda of target and innovations, especially within the emerging sector space?
I mean, any policy from any government that looks, adverse to business would always have an effect on investment. However, with that also comes a lot of opportunities. I mean, we've seen the likes of a few fintech companies in Nigeria that have now acquired the state of a unicorn company. That is a lot of testament to the innovation and the talent that the nation has, and people looking to tap into that. With every policy that comes out, investors look at it and come up with a win-win situation for everybody involved when it comes to investment. I believe that the policies would make investment a little bit more difficult in terms of uncertainty, in terms of what would happen. I mean, imagine what has happened to a couple of the exchanges. You wake up one morning and your entire business model has changed just by a single pronouncement by the government.
What new twists do you see playing out for Q2, Q3, and then the fourth quarter of this year? There's already 3 months after the Central Bank of Nigeria's announcement. Most of the crypto-based fintech companies have already remodeled their operations by implementing P2P models on their platform to connect traders directly. Now, what do you make of the P2P transactions, and how do we also fine-tune the space?
P2P doesn't necessarily support or would not get enough support from any government, because it further removes the transparency the government, government and society at large are looking for when it comes to financial transactions. However, P2P as a way of facilitating transactions are actually also here to stay. In order for us to make that better, we need to work with the blockchain and crypto communities needs to work with CBN to educate, or rather collaborate on a way to provide the governance cover that is required when it comes to transacting. Now, what that means might look like, say, policy on exchanges, maybe licensing exchanges as a way of supporting the crypto and blockchain efforts. The P2P as we have it right now opens up the society at large to scams and bad investment decisions or bad actors within the space.
Let's now wrap up our conversation with the role of financial literacy and also payment solutions on the back of evolving digital space and assets. What mistakes do you think we ought to learn from, and how do we also deepen the knowledge penetration we have in the market?
People need to understand what that means. When we talk about cryptocurrencies, most people don't understand that there are over 3,000 different types of coins out there, right? Most people don't understand that these coins are actually meant to support an idea or a project that is solving a problem. These are things that people need to learn. So for me, uh, um, literacy is, crypto literacy is one of the things that needs to happen. You also have these days, I mean, with the youth and the younger guys embracing this technology, you're finding out that more and more of this is happening. Different groups, Telegram groups, I mean, such groups like Coin Matter. They have sessions almost every weekend to talk about what is actually happening. Aside from trying to invest or all this, it's trying to understand what the technology actually means for us as a people. Different Telegram groups, different societies coming up in trying to help people understand the blockchain and crypto space.
And lastly now, what does the future hold for the cryptocurrency market, and also looking at identity management, working with big data, and also looking at other payment solutions? These are critical elements that would redefine the future of business, wouldn't you say?
What would happen is that Nigeria will now start taking seriously the digital equivalent of the Naira, just the same way Singapore and China and the rest of the world are coming up with the digital currencies to support the cryptocurrencies space. And I see a lot of adoption. A lot of people right now are getting into this because of the fear of missing out or on that X10, X100 type asset. But a lot of people will be embracing it more for different reasons. So thinking of what the technology itself can do, you're going to have a lot of developers coming out building financial solutions, loans and identity management and different types of solutions will be unveiled before the end of the year. It's already happening. And I also see a situation where we'll begin to look at licensing some of the exchanges and making a move on the regulatory aspect as well.
Thank you very much for your time on the show today, Mujib Ishola. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And hopefully we have the government take a better look at the cryptocurrency market and look at how much more we can aggressively drive policies and actions to ensure that Nigeria thrives across all of the sectors that are ruling in the international market today.